Okay, I posted a video not long ago about the organization part, and it's overwhelming. Overwhelming. It's when I'm limited on room, so it's kind of like I work around that, and I'm trying to work around that as much as I can. But um, I'm trying to figure out a way that I can label so that I can begin to put more stuff with each other, from short series to putting together characters, from uh, all my cartoon related books. I got a box that's really dedicated to more Jack Kirby. Uh, then my Defenders run, I'm trying to tag them with Doctor Strange, the Hulk, Submariner. But the problem with that is eventually it will overwhelm that box and become two boxes. Same thing with like Marvel Premiere, Marvel Presents, Marvel Triple Action. There's boxes of all those. Same thing with like Brave and the Bold, Detective Comics, which is slowly working its way down. Also, part of the sickness I've realized that is going on in the cluster of all this magic and which is everywhere is I'm now working on my seventh short box. I'm about eh, maybe maybe halfway through my collection. But what I'm coming up with is about my seventh short box of stacks of stuff like this, which is all duplicates or triplicates of books, which is something as a kid I never ever had. So I'm kind of working on that. So that was this is more my pulp like characters. Um, you got from Buck Rogers, Dick Tracy, John Law Detective again. It's really a Will Eisner, but it's a one shot that happened from Eclipse, so I haven't really looked in to see if there's any more John Law stuff that was done, Detective. Then you have Zorro series from Marvel to Tops, um, to even some of the earlier ones. Mandrake from King, but also from the Marvel one they did. Sherlock Holmes 1. Again, even though not a pulp, he's still sort of an iconic character in which I put in this box. Lone Ranger, the Spirit, uh, the Saint. These come out from Eternity. I want more of those. I think I only have like two. I have to put together the other one. Prince Valiant, Justice Inc., The Avenger. Love that series. I literally have almost two complete sets I do have, and then multiples of a couple of the other ones. So again, the Shadow and Doc Savage. Um, the Shadow. I have the complete 12 of the DC run, but I also have a second almost complete set again of it. Again, it's great, but when you're limited on space in some aspects, eventually you have to think in terms, is it part of what you're going to sell? The Phantom. I have some oddities, Kings, from King to Gold Key to King to even all the way down to the Charltons. Um, Flash Gordon, same thing, going from King till eventually it becomes the Charlton ones. But this is sort of what I've been doing. This is my time to purge as much as I can, get my stuff straight, working on a few things. I'd like to sell some stuff or do some stuff before. There is a show local here that I went to one time and got some phenomenal books, great hauls out of it. Literally pulled from dollar bins like crazy, picked up tons of stuff. And as an end result, um, picked up some bigger keys than which I wanted at the time. For again, I'm a cheap comic buyer, so I don't look for $300 books. I think the biggest I spent was maybe 75 on a book, but that was way too much for me. But and see, as I put this back, you have Buck Rogers from the Free Comic Book Day. That's where the H&P ones, which I have a whole bunch of those, again, different box, trying to put them all in one box. I got these from TSR. I have most of this run, except this is the only one in this box. That's why I'm trying to get them together. This is from the Gold Key run. And if you look, Dick Tracy, this is the reprint. Mrs. Pruneface. That's one ugly chick. And if you look here, these are Super Comics, 1944, 45. That's two of my Dick Tracy's that way, which I have. Then you have, like I said, you can see the spirit in this, and the character itself, the good girl art, the creepy bad guys, just, it fits. And you have these. Now these are the reprint by Kitchen Sink. I want to complete all of these. No, I'm sorry. These are the new adventures, not the reprints. The reprints were a different set. I don't know if Kitchen Sink done the reprints, though. I know this one is one that reprinted. One of the original ones. Lone Ranger. I got more Lone Rangers than this, but this is the only ones that are in this box, which, again, grew up watching Lone Ranger. Just actually watched one of the movies that was just on at his, so it was kind of neat. Again, Lone Ranger and Tano there. He went into real estate. He left the movies in about 59 and done little. I think he actually played an episode of The Greatest American Hero when I was a kid. But I do remember, though, I thought he had done other stuff, but he didn't. I think he continued doing, and he died much older, but Sherlock Holmes. Always a big Sherlock Holmes fan. I love mysteries, and I think Arthur Conan Doyle wrote some of the best at the time. Mandrake. These are ones from King. Love that one with the aliens jumping down. And I would tell anybody, if you can get into finding these, some of their more earlier appearances or beginning of their series and stuff, sometime, because they're not on the speculation list, there's some of these are not easier but better to get at than the other. I know you watch some of the people like Night Tiger, and all of them guys are actually going after some of the really good Golden Age stuff that people aren't touching, and make no sense, but I'm sure Mike wants him not to touch them so he can keep collecting them. Him and Jerry the Jitterbug and everybody else like that. Modern day series of beautiful covers by Marvel. And again, it was just more of a modern day version of Mandrake. And I do love the Mandrake on the Defenders of the Earth cartoon series. I have the whole comic book series. There's my Zorro. And this one, there is a actor in the probably late 80s that played him, and his name goes out of my head now, but I know he done a phenomenal Zorro, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. And he was he looked the part real well. He had always played in action stuff, and if you think of his name, just tell me. But he did play in the Zorro TV series at one time, and a number of other things that were really cool like that. Number 3. Number 4. We're coming up on one of my favorites. Number 9. Which is this one. Alex Toth cover. Now Toth is one of those that I just love his work. It's sort of a good girl kind of cover mixed with it. Then you have the run on Topps. Again, this is where we get Lady Rawhide. I don't keep Lady Rawhide in here because she goes under my Ladies of Comics. Again, I have a whole box. I know Jambo would be proud of me for having a box separated for it. Again, hate to see that this, Topps is a phenomenal card company, but hate to see they closed down the comic book part of. What we need again is just great comic books, and I think Marvel doesn't feel like they get the competition, or DC doesn't. And then of course the movie series. Now I have more of those also, but again, just not here. And then again, the one we remember from the old TV series from the 50s. So that one's a real cool one to have. Some quick ones you have. Again, you have the Saint. Again, I think I got maybe one more of these. I don't think there was that many of them by them. Prince Valiant. I have another series of Prince Valiant stuff that's, I think, made by King, but I thought this one pretty cool because it's also got the backup of Flash Gordon mixed in that one. Justice Inc. Again, the Avenger. It is a really great books to read. Great Jack Kirby cover. It's worth a read if you ever read the books. There's 24, I think, in total. I've got about maybe 18 of them that I've got so far. I always look for them when I'm out at bookstores. Really cool character. Well worth a read. But he's just one of those neat kind of, pulp style characters you really like. Flash Gordon. Again, really cool covers from King. I love that with a space outfit. I mean, her literally in shorts and a space gear. I mean, it's just cool. Because the way people's brains were thinking back then and what we were going to be able to kind of do when they started drawing, even though so unrealistic, it was neat. Second half of that. Again, same thing there with little things around their heads as they do. I think all that's such a good, great depiction of that time period when they switched to Charlton. And Charlton got a little bit busier covers. A good shot of Ming on the front. Again, always like the Flash Gordon series. Now, the Phantom is one of those that I think Billy Zane done a phenomenal job of playing him. I think they kind of wasted their opportunity there to kind of do more with it. Had a Mandrake in the back of that one. I have more of the Gold Key. If I can eventually, when I put them all in the same box, the King, shark cover. I like that one, just the point of view of him actually there with a rock, gonna throw it down on that helicopter. Found some Nazis about to hit that guy in the head with a club. I like that one. It's a little date stamp right there in the little corner. Again, I want to finish this series. Sharks again. The last one we do is the Shadow. Shadow and Doc Savage, a two-part series from Dark Horse. Really cool one. Love that cover there. Now the Shadow. Love this series. And this also has one of my favorite artists doing some of the covers coming up. Here's one of my favorites, Frank Robbins. He does a couple of the covers on this series. Again, another one of them. I love his women. That was another one. And I mean, look at the way that one. Look at that. This is beautiful. Dr. Von Jola says, that's a blazer. It's a beautiful Frank Robbins. There's a Joe Kubert. And there's the Avenger makes an appearance in this series. And then the last one in this series at the end. Alright, well, that is what I'm doing right now. Going through, organizing, going nuts over trying to figure out how to get it all put together and try to reorganize it. Get my doubles moved around to boxes by themselves away from the other stuff so I can see about how many doubles and triples I have to see what I can sell, do, or even just keep if it's stuff I like to keep doubles of. Alright, until next time guys, see y'all later.